A 17-year-old walking into Paris Fashion Week doesn't usually shake the internet, but this time it did. When Sunday Rose Kidman stepped out in Paris wearing a sharp leather jacket, oversized cargo jeans, and an unbothered confidence, something felt different. This wasn't just fashion. This wasn't just style. It was timing, and the timing made people pause, because just months earlier, something quietly ended behind closed doors. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, one of Hollywood's most admired long-term couples, confirmed their split after nearly 20 years together. No public drama, no explosive interviews, just a clean announcement followed by silence. Fans were still processing that news when suddenly their daughter appeared on one of the biggest fashion stages in the world. And that's when the questions started. Why now? Why Paris? Why this bold, grown-up look right at this moment? Sunday Rose didn't arrive looking unsure or experimental. She didn't look like someone trying things out. She looked prepared, calm, like someone who knew exactly why she was there. And that's what made it unsettling for some people, because confidence like that doesn't come from nowhere. Social media quickly filled with theories. Some fans claimed this was her way of stepping into her own identity. Others suggested fashion had become a quiet escape. And a few wondered whether this moment had been carefully planned long before any divorce headlines existed. No one had answers, but everyone was watching. What made this even more compelling was Sunday's silence. She didn't address her parents' separation. She didn't hint at emotions. She didn't explain anything. She simply showed up, polished, composed, and completely unfazed by the noise surrounding her family name. And that restraint stood out. Most teens raised around fame either rush toward attention or disappear from it entirely. Sunday did neither. She entered the spotlight without asking for permission, without oversharing, and without leaning on sympathy. That alone made her different. But here's the part most people missed. This moment wasn't sudden. It wasn't reactive. It wasn't born from chaos. It was the result of years of quiet preparation, strict boundaries, and delayed opportunity, choices made long before anyone imagined a split. While the world focused on what ended, Sunday was showing something else entirely, what was beginning. And as the cameras flashed in Paris, one thing became clear. This wasn't about rebellion, and it wasn't about coping. It was about arrival, controlled one, confident one, and possibly the first chapter of a story far bigger than fashion. Because once you understand how she got here, this moment stops looking accidental and starts looking inevitable. Sunday Rose didn't step into Paris Fashion Week like a guest. She stepped in like someone who understood the room. From the moment she arrived at Dior's Haute Couture Spring/Summer show, it was clear this wasn't about dressing pretty or playing it safe. Her cropped leather jacket, oversized cargo-style jeans, black boots, and dark sunglasses sent a very specific message: confidence without explanation. Paris Fashion Week isn't forgiving. It doesn't care about famous last names or family headlines. It's a place where even seasoned models feel pressure. And yet, at just 17, Sunday moved through it with ease. No rushing, no hesitation, no awkward glances at cameras. She walked like she'd done this before because, in a way, she had. What truly stood out wasn't the outfit itself, but how naturally she carried it. Fashion insiders noticed that immediately. She didn't look like someone borrowing confidence for the day. She looked grounded, present, and aware of exactly where she was. That kind of composure usually comes after years in the industry, not at the very beginning. People watching online began to sense the shift. This wasn't the quiet child seen in rare red carpet family photos years ago. This was someone stepping forward with intention. The leather look wasn't rebellious, it was controlled. The oversized silhouette wasn't accidental. It was current, sharp, and deliberate, and timing made everything louder. This appearance came while public attention was still circling her parents' recent split. Fans expected sensitivity, maybe even retreat. Instead, Sunday did the opposite. She showed up, calm, focused, unshaken. That contrast made the moment impossible to ignore. Fashion blogs and comment sections quickly filled with the same observation. She didn't look overwhelmed. She looked ready. Another detail people picked up on was how seamlessly she blended into the Paris fashion crowd. There was no sense of her being out of place. No celebrity kid energy. She fit in, and that's rare. Paris doesn't welcome outsiders easily, especially young ones. But this wasn't about proving anything. Sunday wasn't trying to shock. She wasn't chasing attention. She simply occupied the space and let the moment speak for itself. What many didn't realize is that this wasn't a debut. It was a continuation. Paris Fashion Week wasn't testing her. It was recognizing her. And that distinction changes everything. Because when a global fashion house treats you like part of the ecosystem, not a novelty, it signals something deeper. Trust, potential, longevity. And while some still called it sudden, the truth is far more interesting. This moment had been building quietly for years, long before headlines, speculation, or public curiosity ever entered the picture. And once you look back at where her fashion journey actually began, began, the narrative shifts completely. Because Paris wasn't the start, it was confirmation. Sunday Rose's rise in fashion didn't begin in Paris this year. It started quietly, deliberately, at just 16, when she made her runway debut for Miu Miu during Paris Fashion Week in October 2024. At that moment, she wasn't flaunting celebrity status. She wasn't being thrust into the spotlight. She was walking calm, composed, and focused, and that single appearance instantly set her apart. What makes a runway debut memorable isn't just the outfit or the designer. It's presence, posture, how someone moves through space and captures attention without screaming for it. Sunday had that from the very first step. Fashion insiders noticed. Miu Miu didn't cast her out of courtesy or fame. They cast her because she fit the world they were building. After that debut, momentum followed, measured, intentional, and strategic. Campaigns with Dior, Omega, and other luxury brands began landing in her portfolio. Each one reinforced a pattern. She wasn't here to be a celebrity accessory. She was being invited back because she belonged. She had credibility that even some seasoned models struggle to earn. What makes Sunday's journey unusual is how quietly it happened. Social media posts were minimal. Public appearances were controlled. She didn't exploit family fame for visibility. Instead, she let the work speak. By doing so, she created an aura of professionalism that the fashion world responded to immediately. She wasn't chasing attention. She was evaluating it, and that evaluation set her apart from many peers her age. Fans noticed, of course. Her Instagram followers saw the Dior campaign snapshots, the high fashion photo spreads. But Sunday's engagement wasn't performative. Her captions reflected gratitude and sincerity, not hype or vanity. She thanked the Dior team and Jonathan Anderson for the opportunity. That authenticity is rare in an industry that often rewards loudness over subtlety. Fashion insiders quickly started describing her as quietly magnetic. She didn't dominate conversations. She didn't need to. Her presence alone carried weight. And weight matters in high fashion because runway shows, campaigns, and editorials are ultimately about trust. Designers and casting directors invest in individuals who will uphold the brand's image, presence, and professionalism. Sunday had proven she could do all of that, even at 16. The careful pacing of her career also created a sense of anticipation. By waiting until she was old enough to manage expectations and handle pressure, her parents, Nicole and Keith, ensured she wouldn't burn out before she truly started. And the timing of her rise is even more remarkable considering the family changes she was about to navigate. While most teens her age would struggle with early fame and family upheaval, Sunday was already learning discipline, balance, and presence, lessons that would serve her beyond fashion to be why the time she made her Dior appearance in 2025, she wasn't a debutante. She was a serious player. The industry wasn't questioning if she belonged. They knew she did. And while public speculation suggested an overnight transformation, the reality was that her runway, campaigns, and measured social presence had been carefully building credibility for years. In short, Sunday Rose had already earned respect quietly, and Paris Fashion Week didn't mark the beginning. It confirmed her status, and behind that careful rise, one question lingered. How did her parents' rules shape her ability to manage success so gracefully? Sunday Rose's rise in fashion wasn't accidental. Behind the glossy photos, runway appearances, and high-profile campaigns, there were rules. Two simple, yet strict boundaries set by Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban shaped how she approached the world. The first, no fashion work before turning 16. The second, school always comes first. At first, Sunday admits she hated these restrictions. Watching peers explore opportunities while she waited felt frustrating. But over time, she realized that these rules weren't limits, they were protections. They allowed her to step into the industry with focus, patience, and confidence, instead of being swept up by hype or pressure. These boundaries meant that every opportunity she took was deliberate. When she finally made her runway debut for Miu Miu at 16, she wasn't desperate for attention or validation. She was prepared. She had the maturity to evaluate whether a project was right for her and the presence to make it succeed. That balance between patience and ambition set her apart from many other young models who rush into the spotlight without guidance. Nicole and Keith understood that fame can overwhelm teenagers, especially in an industry as relentless as fashion, and their rules gave Sunday a foundation to handle it. Beyond discipline, these rules also created perspective. Sunday learned to see her career as a gradual journey rather than a sprint. She understood the value of timing, of entering opportunities when she was ready. Fashion insiders and campaign directors noticed this maturity. She didn't overexpose herself on social media. She didn't chase every trend or collaboration. Instead, she allowed her presence and work to speak for her. That quiet consistency earned her respect, something rare for someone so young, especially in Hollywood circles where celebrity often overshadows talent. The rules also shaped her mindset in ways that went beyond work. By prioritizing school, Sunday maintained balance and normalcy despite the pressures around her. She had structure in a world where schedules, deadlines, and expectations could easily spiral out of control. That structure became even more vital when her family faced changes in their personal lives. While most teenagers would struggle with parental divorce and public attention at the same time, Sunday had cultivated resilience, focus, and perspective through years of consistent boundaries. In essence, the rules weren't about restriction. They were about preparation. By the time she stepped onto major runways or appeared in global campaigns, she wasn't just a teenager with famous parents. She was a disciplined, confident, and grounded young woman. She understood what she wanted, how to pursue it, and, more importantly, how to manage the pressures that come with growing up in the public eye. These early lessons created a balance between ambition and patience, giving her the tools to navigate both the fashion world and life itself. The result is visible in every appearance she makes today. Her composure, focus, and self-assurance aren't just natural talent. They are the product of careful guidance, thoughtful rules, and deliberate preparation. Sunday Rose's story proves that sometimes the right boundaries don't hold you back. They build you up. And as she continues stepping into bigger stages, the world is watching someone who is ready, resilient, and completely in control of her path. In September 2025, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban quietly announced their separation after nearly 20 years of marriage. For most fans, it was shocking, not because the couple had been publicly troubled, but because there had been no warning, no rumors, no major media storm. It was sudden, calm, and precise. The public watched, curious and slightly stunned, as two of Hollywood's most admired figures decided to end one of its longest-lasting partnerships. By January, the divorce was finalized quietly, with both parents determined to handle the process with dignity and stability. For Sunday Rose, this family change came at a critical moment. Her public life was just beginning to expand, with major runway appearances and campaigns making her increasingly visible. While other teenagers might have been overwhelmed by a parental separation, Sunday remained composed, calm, and professional. She did not make public statements about her parents' split. She didn't post emotional reflections on social media. Instead, she continued to step into the world of fashion on her own terms, showing a maturity that surprised even industry insiders. Court documents revealed the careful co-parenting plan that Nicole and Keith had arranged. Nicole retained primary residential custody of Sunday and her younger sister, Faith, while Keith would see the children every other weekend and some holidays. Both parents agreed to avoid negative comments about each other, prioritizing the children's stability and emotional well-being. This structure may seem ordinary, but in Hollywood, it's rare. The level of planning and commitment to maintaining a stable environment gave Sunday a foundation to navigate both her personal and public life without losing her focus or balance. Fans and the public speculated about how the divorce might affect Sunday's rising career. Some wondered if she would retreat, overwhelmed by family turmoil. Others suggested she might act out, using fashion and media attention to compensate. But the reality was strikingly different. Sunday continued to attend high-profile fashion shows, deliver polished performances in campaigns, and maintain her presence with elegance and poise. She showed that family upheaval didn't need to define her public image or derail her career trajectory. What stands out most is how Sunday's upbringing and the rules her parents had set intersected with this personal shift. Her patience, grounding, and discipline allowed her to process a major life change privately while remaining confident and collected in the public eye. In essence, her parents' careful guidance wasn't just about career preparation. It had prepared her for life's unexpected challenges. 2. The combination of parental structure, careful boundaries, and personal maturity ensured that Sunday's career momentum didn't slow, even as her family life shifted dramatically. Instead of chaos, there was calm. Instead of distraction, there was focus. The world watched as a 17-year-old navigated one of life's biggest transitions while stepping into a very public role, and she did it with poise, patience, and quiet determination. In many ways, this phase of her life marked more than just a family change. It highlighted Sunday Rose's ability to handle pressure, balance personal and professional challenges, and move forward in a way that few teenagers, celebrity or otherwise, could manage. It was a transition, yes, but one that only strengthened the foundation she had been building for years. Sunday Rose Kidman Urban's story isn't just about fashion or celebrity. It's about timing, discipline, and the way preparation preparation intersects with opportunity. At 17, she is already stepping into spaces that many adults would find intimidating: Paris runways, global campaigns, and the intense spotlight of media scrutiny. Yet she does it with calm, precision, and a sense of control that is rare for anyone, let alone a teenager. Her rise illustrates that success isn't simply about visibility. It's about credibility, consistency, and knowing when to step forward. What makes Sunday remarkable is the combination of natural talent and deliberate guidance. Her parents' rules, no serious fashion work before 16, school always comes first, didn't limit her potential. They gave her structure. They taught her how to manage expectations, build confidence, and pace herself. That foundation allowed her to handle complex challenges, including her parents' divorce, without losing focus or composure. Instead of seeking attention or drama, she channels her energy into craft, presentation, and professionalism. This maturity translates into every runway appearance, campaign photo shoot, and public outing. Sunday's fashion choices reflect more than style. They signal identity and intent. Her edgy leather looks, oversized silhouettes, and confident runway presence aren't mere trends. They are statements. They convey independence, awareness, and a level of self-possession that many adults spend years trying to cultivate. Fans and fashion insiders alike notice it. Where other celebrity children are often defined by their parents' fame, Sunday is quietly defining herself on her own terms, turning attention into opportunity rather than distraction. The timing of her rise also carries deeper significance. Her public achievements came during a period of private family transition. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's divorce could have been a destabilizing moment, but Sunday's grounding, preparation, and resilience allowed her to navigate it with poise. This period highlights a key lesson. External circumstances don't dictate success. Internal discipline does. Sunday didn't retreat or overcompensate. She moved forward, fully aware of her abilities and boundaries. That awareness makes her not just a rising model, but a role model for young individuals balancing ambition and personal life. Ultimately, Sunday Rose's story is about the power of preparation, balance, and timing. Her parents' careful guidance, her disciplined approach to school and career, and her ability to maintain composure under scrutiny have created a platform from which she can flourish. She isn't defined by headlines, by her parents' fame, or by curiosity-driven speculation. She is defined by how she approaches her craft, navigates life, and projects confidence without arrogance. As she continues to step into global fashion stages, Sunday demonstrates something rare: success built with intention, patience, and maturity. She is carving an identity entirely her own, and in doing so, she proves that rising to prominence isn't about chaos or loudness. It's about focus, preparation, and confidence. The world is watching a young woman who is not just emerging into fame, but doing so deliberately, resiliently, and fully in control. For fans, insiders, and the industry alike, the question is no longer whether she will succeed. It's how far she will go and what she will define along the way. Sunday Rose's journey is just beginning, and the impact she will have on fashion, culture, and her generation may be larger than anyone expects.